I mean, before these guys are returning from countries where they're eating basically food courtesy of KBR, used to be Dick Cheney's Halliburton that owned that, but they're literally eating crap in their food, and the water is putrid. I would hope that they understand who the enemy is when they come back here, and if they're ordered to go quarantine American citizens, they ought to quarantine the people in Washington who are issuing these orders.
But you've seen those confirmed reports where just any good-looking woman out there gets basically killed.
Yeah, and then you know how many of those cases in Iraq were ruled suicides? You know, I put that in quotation marks because some of these people, like Colonel Ted Westhousing, they said he shot himself right before he was supposed to come back to the United States. The Army's top ethics officer from West Point, who was actually investigating contractor fraud over there at the time. Now, his family doesn't believe for 1 minute he killed himself. So there's a lot of these so-called...
And they clearly killed Pat Tillman.
Yeah, absolutely they did. And these are homicides that the military has never investigated. So I think it's time, you know, for the FBI to start investigating the Pentagon here.
Wayne, are we the most corrupt country on earth?
Well, I mean, there are many more corrupt countries where the system is just a kleptocracy. Let's look at Nigeria, for example. Hillary's over there today telling them they have to clean up their act.
But they generally have kingpins that kind of keep it in order, though. I mean, here it's just like grabbing and stealing and raping and murdering and just like wild pirates or something.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's no system to our corruption in the kleptocracy in this country, and a lot of people are stealing and killing, but you know, we go around and parade around and say we're the greatest democracy on the planet, which is a laugh.
All right, I interrupted you on the Hillary thing. If we have time, we'll get back into Nigeria, but the limited time we have, the main reason I got you on, I watched your Russia Today transmission, and I did notice that some of the usual suspects have really been pushing the birther issue. We just looked at it because I don't believe anything Obama says. He does have a weird Barry Soetoro, weird passports, mom, you know, for the Annenberg Foundation and Geithner's dad and all these other, the Ford Foundation with micro-lending, and Obama with weird passports into Pakistan right out of high school. So he looks like an intelligence front, not so much a Kenyan, but I still look at it. I mean, but more and more, well, you're saying that Israel's using this birther issue to menace him, to keep him in line, that Netanyahu has either picked up on this or is behind it. What is your intel, you know, without naming names, where are you getting this intel from?
Well, I mean, this issue sort of died, and then when Obama started getting tough on the settlements with Netanyahu, all of a sudden this woman, Orly Tates, out of California, pops up with this Defend Our Freedoms Foundation. Now, she said that, she got on television, did this big media blitz. She also is tied up with organizations that are linked to the Likud government and Netanyahu in Israel. She was born in Moldova, moved to Israel, and then came over here. I mean, for her to be questioning the nationality of the President of the United States, I think somebody ought to go back and see how she got in this country. After she makes her big allegations, 2 days later she pops up in Tel Aviv on television. Now, you know, she submitted this fake birth certificate in a lawsuit. Maybe she realizes that somebody must have said, even though she's a lawyer, she got her law degree apparently from some online internet university. But maybe somebody tapped her on the shoulder, a real lawyer, and said, you know, it's a felony to submit a known forgery to a federal court. So she
yeah, but couldn't Israel also be putting out fake birth certificates to discredit things? I mean,
absolutely. I mean, look, they had their finger. I mean, the neocons had their fingerprints all over those Niger yellow cake documents. They had their fingerprints on the Iraqi oil ministry documents that showed supposedly all these anti-war politicians around the world got money from Saddam Hussein. These were all forgeries. And yes, Israel specializes in forgeries because, remember, the motto of the Mossad is through deception thou shalt wage war. So that's just another method that they use.
By way of deception, we shall wage war, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you've got the IDF soldier, and clearly not even just a dual citizen, and pretty much, I would say he's an Israeli, the White House Chief of Staff, the true joker here, Rahm Emanuel, and his Dr. Death eugenics brother. I mean, what a crew. This is just getting crazier and crazier. And so you're saying Netanyahu may be leaking this. I would see it just as probable that they put out the fake birth certificates to discredit it. I mean, why would Israel want to get rid of Obama when he's been going along with pretty much everything they want?
Well, Obama actually had, and there's thought that there is a feud between Emmanuel and Netanyahu over the settlements issue.
Yeah, the leaked Israeli ambassador to Washington thing in the Washington Post, yeah.
Right, the consul general in Boston, said that they were it was hurting relations. I mean, and then this, seeing rabbis in handcuffs in New York and New Jersey. I mean, obviously, there's a feeling that the federal government is getting tough with the Israelis, and then all of a sudden this birth certificate thing pops up. So Netanyahu, is close to this woman, Orly Tates, who was the head of this. The most recent operation on the birth certificate. I would also. So
you think Obama really is a few degrees tougher on Israel than Bush?
Oh, I believe he is. I mean, you never saw, basically this rabbi network was supporting the Shas party, which is a key member of Netanyahu's coalition government. So these guys are being let out in handcuffs.
Oh, you think that's Obama's people saying we can blackmail you too?
We can, our Justice Department can go after your money sources over here, and in that case they did.
Wayne, tell us more about that in the final segment. Straight ahead. WayneMadsenReport.com.